The president renewed his attacks against special counsel Robert Mueller Thursday. In a series of tweets, President Trump targeted the credibility of the Russia probe, saying the inner workings of the Mueller investigation are a total mess and a disgrace to the nation. This comes amid reports President Trump worked this week with his lawyers to draft answers to the special counsel's questions. The White House is also navigating blowback over the president's pick to lead the Justice Department. Matthew Whitaker is serving as acting attorney general after Jeff Sessions was forced to resign last week. He's a known critic of Mueller and now oversees the investigation. Franco Ordoñez joins me now from Washington. He's a White House correspondent for McClatchy News. All right, Franco, why is the president attacking the special counsel now? Do we know?
There's a lot of questions about why he might be attacking the investigation. There's so much speculation right now. There's not exact news of why, but there's talk that because his advisors, Michael Cohen, is talking with the Mueller investigative team, Donald Trump Jr. Has expressed that he may be indicted soon. So there's a lot of speculation that President Trump is sensing something is afoot. We've seen these kind of things in the past where he's kind of lashed out about things happening where he feels a threat via Twitter. But, he may also just be letting off some steam. But there are certainly a lot of questions about what might be happening right now.
Well, Republican Senator Jeff Flake threatened to block any judicial nominees until a bill protecting Mueller receives a floor vote. Has the White House responded to the possibility of legislation?
The White House has been opposed to any type of legislation like this. So has clearly Mitch McConnell. He has said this type of legislation is unnecessary. It's unlikely that Mitch McConnell would support this. Obviously, with Trump's role in the Senate, in support of the Senate, he would likely see this as kind of a protest. It would be not favorable of any type of movement like that. At the same time, Jeff Flake does hold power by doing this. The Republicans have a very slim majority. They want to confirm about 12 judges by the end of the year. Without Jeff Flake, they'll have to depend on the vice president for those positions. They'll also have to probably go around the Judiciary Committee, where with Jeff Flake, Republicans only have a one-person advantage. Let's also remember that in the Kavanaugh hearings, it was Jeff Flake who held up a vote when he said that that he wanted more investigation by the FBI. So he put off a vote for about a week. So he's got some power.
Well, meanwhile, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi is vying for House Speaker. Let's listen to what she had to say Thursday about her chances.
I have overwhelming support in my caucus to be Speaker of the House. And certainly we have many, many people in our caucus who could serve in this capacity. I happen to think that at this point, I'm the best person for that.
So, Franco, of course, during the midterms, some Democrats campaigned on a platform that included distancing themselves from Pelosi. Have they changed their views on her since?
They have not. I mean, they're still continuing to hold those views. The issue is that many of those who are kind of anti-Pelosi haven't put someone forward who they want to challenge her. Pelosi is speaking very confidently about taking this position, saying she has overwhelming support, telling people who think they could challenge her to, come on in and happy to spar with them. But it really does look like she has the support, at least at this point. But those who have challenged her, it doesn't seem like they can even afford to say that they won't, but they haven't presented someone to step in.
So you've had now Congresswoman Marcia Fudge say on Thursday that she's considering challenging Pelosi, or at least that she's been approached about it. And I wonder, is she a viable opponent, or does Nancy Pelosi pretty much have this locked down?
I'm not sure I'd say that it's locked down, but certainly Pelosi has reason to be confident. Marcia Fudge is talking about that she's very touched by the overwhelming support that she had seen. She says that privately she is received about 30 Democrats who would be willing to support her. I'm not sure if that will be enough. Certainly when Nancy Pelosi was asked about this, she didn't really bat an eye and said, hey, come on in, the water is warm. Welcome the challenge.
All right. Congresswoman-elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez supported protesters outside of Leader Pelosi's office this week. How do you see establishment Democrats and progressives working together during this next session?
It is going to be a really fascinating next session to watch how that team, she on the first day jumped right into Nancy Pelosi's office and was really spreading her wings and showing the muscle that she has. Freshman member, incoming member, the youngest female member of Congress. I think it'll be very fascinating. When asked about it and pushed on it, she has kind of struck a conciliatory tone to Pelosi, saying she was there to support her on these issues that were obviously very important to those groups regarding renewable energy. It will be very interesting to watch because many of those incoming freshmen, ran on campaigns that they would oppose her.
Yeah, it really.
Now they'll have to work with her.
Yeah, it really will be fascinating to see how that dynamic plays out. Switching gears, Franco, the White House is considering extraditing an enemy of Turkish President Erdogan from Pennsylvania. That's according to some reporting that's out there. And Fethullah Gulen is accused of participating in Turkey's 2016 failed coup. Why would the president be considering this?
Well, the reason for considering this, based on the reports, is that they want to get Erdogan, President Erdogan, more on their side, kind of create some space on the Saudi investigation of, the journalist Khashoggi, the Washington Post journalist who's worked for the Washington Post. So that they're not as strong against Saudi Arabia. The president obviously is interested in maintaining a relationship with Saudi Arabia. The Turkish government has been very forceful in wanting to investigate this. This is a way, by handing over someone who the Turkish government is very interested in having, who, as you pointed out, is accused of being participated in this coup. This is seen as a way to kind of curry some favor and create a little bit of a little space and a little bit of flexibility with the Saudi Arabians.
Finally, Franco, Vice President Mike Pence and Russian President Vladimir Putin sat next to each other Thursday at a summit in Singapore. They discussed November's upcoming G20 summit. How is the White House's strategy shifting, if at all, in regards to Russia since the midterms?
Well, I can certainly tell you that in the last few months, and including the last week, it certainly seems to be there's some increased pressure, led by Bolton. Certainly seems like they want to put more pressure on Russia, talking about pulling out of this treaty that the United States has said Russia has been in violation of since 2014. There was a lot of attention today on the body language of Vice President Pence and Putin. People were noticing that Pence was not smiling, that he was, kind of stiff-lipped, and there's a lot of question and a lot of curiosity about this, future meeting with Putin to see if what kind of can come out. Will Trump kind of continue to, force the same, express the same kind of reservations or not? But certainly he is stating that he will pull out of the treaty.
All right, Franco Ordoñez for us. Franco, thank you.
Thanks for having me.